Hey, what's up guys? Shuckleking here, bringing you week 2 for TBL, and this week we are facing off against Kelly UndertheRadar and Monotooi. If you guys haven't seen the team builder, make sure you go check it out on Leo's channel. Yeah, and Leo won't be here unfortunately, because our audio was definitely not synced up. So we played this battle on a while ago on Friday night. I reached out. Leo and I were talking. It's like, hey, can you send me over your audio file for the week 2 battle so I could edit the video Saturday and then have it uploaded ready for Sunday. It takes a long. So I was going to my parents' house this weekend. It takes forever to upload anything with their crappy internet. But yeah, I think Leo thought that I was recording his side, and I was assuming that Leo was going to record his own side, and I was going to just edit it in. So yeah, it is just me solo. Leo said he could do it later. I want to get to make sure I have this video, so I'll also be busy Wednesday with the Sixers. I might be going to that game, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, hopefully for future weeks Leo and I should be in the same call, and you'll guys be hearing both of our commentary, because this was a fun battle too. So definitely you want to check this game out. So yeah, anyway, as we could see with the 6 there on the bottom of the screen, I guess I can have this play. I'll probably intermittently pause and stuff throughout. Yeah, did not bring the Hydreigon, which is pretty cool. Definitely pretty threatening. We had ways to handle it, like Koko, Ferrothorn could take a hit with the Akaberry, Surfetch could take a hit with AV. Uxie has fairy coverage and might be able to add speed if the Hydreigon's not running a lot of speed on it. But yeah, otherwise Hydreigon would have been a little bit annoying. I probably would have expected it over Vaporeon or Rhyperior, but I'm definitely fine that these 6 are here. Definitely our general game plan in this game is getting Toxic Spikes up with the Nidoking, and then clicking a Hex with Spell Tag, Hydreigon, and just winning. The fact that there is no Hydreigon would have made Specs even better, but then we wouldn't have gotten a status on the Registeel. So I guess there's pluses and minuses there. We definitely want to get a Will-O-Wisp up on that. But that's the general game plan. Koko, ideally to make sure that whatever the defogger is, which I guess is either Togekiss or Mew, is not able to defog that reliably. Ferrothorn just to get extra hazards up and maybe take a Hydreigon hit, but that's not even as important. So Ferrothorn might be a little bit more expendable this game. Surfetched there to take a Togekiss Air Slash and then add speed, which would be pretty cool, and we would probably kill if we get some chip damage plus a poison jab. And then Uxie might be able to late game sweep. Really depends on different sets that they have. Like if Registeel's Seismic Toss, then that'd be pretty annoying and toxic. We'd basically need the Registeel dead, and then Uxie might be able to do some damage in this game. So yeah, as we can see here, it'll be me against Kelly, because I did play this game. So as we see with their lead here, they're going to decide to lead with the Mew. We decided to lead with the Dragapult. If it was a Hydreigon was on their side of the field, we probably lead Dragapult no matter what. If they had Hydreigon, we might we would definitely switch into the Koko. Because we would take any one hit pretty reliably. That's like an Earth Power, but we would take 2 unless if they're scarfed, and we could gauge the damage based on the Earth Power if they were scarfed or not. But yeah, no, this is a pretty free U-turn here. Hex isn't going to do a lot, and something like Knock Off or Ice Beam, Triple Axle would do pretty decent damage to the Pult. We are risking the Mew being scarfed, but I'm pretty confident that we should be able to take any one Mew hit. If they're scarfed, that means they're not a boosting item. Maybe if they get like 3 hits with Triple Axle, it would be a little threatening, but I'm pretty sure we live the hit anyway. So we should be pretty free to U-turn out. And especially Mew could be pretty threatened by a Dragapult. I think Spec Shadow Ball kills Mew, unless if they're like max HP Mew, unless if they're like very special defensive. So I feel like they're probably forced to switch out here. So U-turn should be pretty free momentum, and then ideally we can get into Nidoking and set up Toxic Spike. So as we see, they do switch out and go into the Registeel, which is basically the perfect scenario. We can U-turn, and then it makes the most sense to go right into the Nidoking. We'd assumingly scare out the the Registeel with an Earth Power, it probably takes one hit, but then it would be super, super weakened, and then wouldn't be able to take on Dragapult that well. So I feel like that's probably not the play to absorb an Earth Power here. You probably go into like Vaporeon maybe, or Mew. Nidoking's just very hard to switch into. It just has decent coverage, but Mew should be able to take 2 hits pretty well, unless if we're like Shadow Ball, but we didn't run Shadow Ball this week. But yeah, we're going to get up our Toxic Spikes on turn 2, which is just about as perfect as it could be. And ideally, we can keep them up on the field. As we see they go back into Mew. So a little bit annoying that we didn't get the status on Mew just yet. It would make Dragapult's life a lot easier. I don't think we're going to be knocking out a Mew with not statused Dragapult Hex. Even if they're like no HP investment or something. But I assumingly think that they are. They're probably special defensive to take 2 Nidoking hits, as long as we're not Shadow Ball or something. And maybe if we're like Mana Shadow Ball, that they might have enough speed that or something. Not quite sure what their set is, but we can go ahead into Koko. It is a little bit annoying that the Mew isn't status. If we can figure out a way to get a status on it, then we should be in pretty okay shape. But if this is just sitting on the field, could be problematic, especially if they're like Calm Mind, or if it's like any type of setup set right now. And again, because Mew's so versatile, we really don't know what it's going to be. So we see they just firing off an Ice Beam against the Nidoking. Pretty safe. It hits, everything on our team, at least neutrally. It doesn't do a lot of damage. So at this point, we could decide if we're going to just go for a Taunt or go for Nature's Madness and just get decent chip on this. I think it probably makes more sense just to go for a Nature's Madness. And we can also see if they're leftovers or see what item that the Mew is. At least we'll know if they're leftovers or not. Maybe like a berry, I suppose, if it's like a 50% berry. But we do go for the Nature's Madness, and they go for Toxic. We could have gone for a Taunt there, so definitely annoying. So they're probably recover Toxic, Ice Beam, and either Fire coverage or Psychic coverage. I'd imagine you probably want something hit the Ferrothorn, but I'm pretty confident that they're not defog on this Mew set, which is pretty cool. So I think I would definitely take this exchange of getting a little bit of residual damage on our Koko with Toxic and eventually die to it in order to make sure that this Mew stays not at 100% health, and also finding out what the set is. So that's definitely great, because Koko's not as useful this game because the Hydreigon didn't come. The Koko's primary purpose was to make sure that Hydreigon wasn't going to go out of control. So yeah, we decide to make the switch out here. Could go for an Ice Beam again, but I don't think they're going to go for a Psychic coverage, and based on knowing how much damage that they did before, I think they're going to just stay in. Oh, okay. So we didn't switch out. I wonder why we didn't switch out there. I feel like not going for a Psychic would have been a fine play. Like, I imagine they weren't going to go for Psychic coverage. Maybe. Actually, yeah. No, I guess Psychic was definitely an option that they could have gone for. I guess we decided to go for the Nature's Madness here, or a Dazzling Gleam, just to like get as much damage off an Immune as possible. We also don't. I guess, yeah. So this play actually makes more sense. There's a lot of plays down here. I did forget this one, but I think the Dazzling Gleam makes sense because we still don't know what their set is yet. And that Dazzling Gleam did not do much damage. I mean, granted, our Koko isn't that special attack invested, but that has to be like a pretty special defensive Mew, which basically confirms that this was an answer to take on the Nidoking. So definitely makes sense. But we definitely want to keep this as weakened as possible. At this point, we make the aggressive play and go into our Surf Edge, predicting that they're not going to go for the Psychic coverage at this point. That's because they kept going for Ice Beam. They probably don't have anything to hit us harder. It might be like Flamethrower as the last move or something. And actually bring in the Registeel here, which is awesome. And definitely we didn't predict this. We have a couple options here. Close Combat or Knockoff would be the primary plays. There's really no world where the Registeel stays in. And if the Registeel stays in, even if we over-predict and go for Knockoff instead of a Close Combat, it's still going to be not recovering HP and just makes it easier for the Nidoking or the Dragapult to kill in the future. So I'm definitely cool with this exchange because we do knock off the, what do we knock off? Let's go back. I didn't catch it on the replay here. Yeah, so knockoff makes a lot of sense, especially because Togekiss is an obvious play. We could have Poison Jab there predicting the Togekiss, but really no reason to make that aggressive of a play. Knockoff is definitely a pretty good intermediate ground play to hit the Registeel plus his Togekiss. And I believe it was Boots. Yes, so we get rid of Boots. So we know it's not a very... well, we know it's not Scarfed, which is great. So we know that the Surf Edge set should be able to do a lot of damage to the Togekiss. We probably don't kill with one Poison Jab. Based on the knockoff damage, they're definitely pretty defensive. I mean, if we get a Poison with Poison Jab, we might have a chance to kill. But yeah, I guess we have to show off this set. We might be able to take 2 Air Slashes depending on their special attack investment. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, obviously, because we haven't taken a hit yet. We could make a switch out, but I think it's probably the best interest just to go for the Poison Jab, and we also got to show off the set. Even if we get flinched, we'll be able to outspeed, because they are definitely not Toy Scarf, because we knocked off their heavy-duty boots. So I do have a decent amount of special attack investment, but fortunately we don't get flinched, and we crit and kill. So it would have been cool if we got the flinch to get the speed boost, but I don't think we would have killed the Togekiss without a crit. So that was definitely unfortunate. I mean, granted, we would have brought the Togekiss really low to the point where we could go into probably the Dragapult and revenge kill with Hex. At that point, it could have brought in the Registeel, and it could have been a little bit more problematic at that point, but getting that crit was definitely unfortunate for Kelly's end, because they would have beaten the Surf Edge one-on-one otherwise, because they had had a decent amount of special attack. So, yeah, we will definitely take that exchange. Still in our favor here for sure. So they decide that they're going to bring out the Urshifu. And our switch into Urshifu is definitely not the greatest. Dragapult, it's a pretty decent switch in outside of like Ice Punch. Nidoking's not a switch in. Koko, not a switch in because it's so low health. Ferrothorn can be a switch in to a not close combat, but close combat's obviously going to do a lot of damage. Surfetched isn't going to be taking any hits from the HP that it's at. And Uxie. Uxie could take hits, actually, but we probably want to keep it in the bag just in case if we can get some decent damage off with the Uxie later on. So we are going to sack off the Koko. The Koko wasn't really serving a whole lot of purpose. Again, as I was saying before, the main purpose was to make sure Hydreigon wasn't crazy. So we were able to keep the Mew at least somewhat low. Definitely to the point where it's going to die to a Dragapult Hex because it's going to be poisoned. Even if it's special defensive, there's no way it's going to be living that hit. And definitely would have been... unfortunate if like the Togekiss went for like a Defog. I'm not sure if they had Defog or not. Probably. So yeah, man, getting that crit was definitely unfortunate. It would have brought the Togekiss really low, and we could have gotten T-Spikes later in the game, honestly, because if we bring in the Dragapult, like if the Togekiss didn't die there, and we bring the Dragapult to a Hex, then it would have forced out the Registeel, and then we could U-turn, bring in the Nidoking, and get up Toxic Spikes again. So not the biggest deal. I guess he could have saved the Togekiss and gone into Registeel there. We could have gone for a Will-O-Wisp and then brought it in range of basically being 3-hit KO'd, if not 2-hit KO'd with a little bit of damage. So yeah, definitely unfortunate, but we take it. So 5-5 right now. Expecting that the Urshifu isn't going to stay in, and predicting that the Registeel is going to come out. We're going to go for the Will-O-Wisp here. And fortunately, we make the right play and cast his Registeel. Maybe we didn't need to do such an aggressive play. We probably could have just gone for Hex and then gone for a Will-O-Wisp on this Registeel. So Registeel's not going to do a ton to us, though a Thunder Wave would definitely be unfortunate. So I guess that's fair that we make the aggressive play, go for the Will-O-Wisp, and now we can U-turn, and we're not fearing getting T-Wave by this Registeel. So we can U-turn out. Nidoking just seems like a really, really free switch-in. Surfetched also seems like a pretty free switch-in, too, because the Registeel's not going to be able to kill us in any one move. And we're not going to be doing a ton with the Surfetched, though we would do decent damage to the Vaporeon and the Rhyperior. So we figured even if he goes for Earthquake, that's not going to do a lot of damage because he has burned. And Nidoking is obviously going to get into a KO here. Like, just look at the team and then look at, like, just us clicking Earth Power. Like what's the switching? I guess Mew. But I think we might add Speed Mew because it seems like it's pretty bulky. So we probably kill with 2 hits anyway. Urshifu is not going to be taking hits, especially with poison damage. It's going to probably close to die. Vaporeon probably takes 2, even with poison damage, but it's really not going to appreciate it. It's going to bring it down super low. And obviously we could have Thunderbolt and kill the Vaporeon afterwards. Rhyperior's not going to be taking any hit, especially if it's like a weakness policy set or something. So you probably have to sack the Registeel here, especially because it's Will-O-Wisps. It's not even that great answer to Dragapult anyway, because he knows that we have Hex. So yeah, we go for the Earth Power here. Do a lot of damage to the Registeel. We know it's special defensive, obviously, from the damage, and we didn't kill. As he goes for the Ice Punch and does a little bit of damage, not a lot. Even with a crit, that's really inconsequential damage right there. So we can kill this Registeel with another Earth Power. But I was actually suggesting that we could probably just go into Uxie here. So the set right now, the Registeel is Rocks and probably Toxic and Earthquake. Maybe Iron Head, Ice Punch. It's probably Iron Head as the 4th move. Maybe Earthquake, maybe even Body Press to hit the Ferrothorn. It could be Toxic, but I don't think the Registeel's going to go for Toxic on this play. So I figured we could go into Uxie and maybe start setting up. So they go for an Ice Punch, and fortunately they don't get the freeze. And we should be able to set up a sub. As long as they're not Seismic Toss, then we might be able to actually set up on this Registeel, which would be pretty funny. We definitely wanted the Registeel dead for this UC set to do well, but it is so low that we should be in pretty decent position. And because they revealed, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Ice Punch, because they revealed those 3 moves, we're pretty confident that they're not Rest in this slot. So even if the Electric Train is up, that's not going to make a difference. So yes, they go for a Toxic, and it's not going to hurt us. And Uxie is going to be in a position to set up a Calm Mind. So ways that he could prevent like the Uxie from doing decent damage is like if the Urshifu is Scarfed, then just going for U-turn. But we could just sub on that afterwards, and then it'd be a little bit annoying. Or the Vaporeon has Roar. But I don't think Kelly and Monotooi are going to run Roar Vaporeon or Roar Rhyperior. Rhyperior also gets Roar. Mew probably gets Roar because Mew just can run any move that it wants it to. But again, highly doubting that's going to be Roar. So definitely deciding what they're going to do here. I'm pretty sure they're not expecting a sub Uxie set. I guess either sub Nasty Plot or sub Calm Mind. Would both be pretty problematic. I don't know what they would expect. It'd be interesting. Definitely go and make sure you check out Under the Radar side and see what they're debating about on this play. I'm sure they didn't expect the Uxie go for a sub here for sure. So we go for a Calm Mind on this following play. So definitely not a great position for Kelly and Monotooi. Probably the best play is to go for U-turn, assuming they had speed, break our sub, and go into something else. We could sub on that, but the problem is if they stay in and go for Surging Strikes, and then we sub, and then he goes for another Surging Strikes again, they probably lose to Urshifu, but we're going to be super low with the Uxie, and we probably get Revenge killed, but we're going to go for the Psychic here. Draining Kiss isn't going to do a lot, but we actually had speed, which is funny. They probably did not expect the very speedy Uxie, which definitely makes a lot of sense. And I forget what our speed was for. Let me look it up. The speed on Uxie was 309. It's had speed's base 90s. So yeah, definitely up there. And maybe predicting creeps and stuff. But yeah, so we were able to outspeed the Urshifu. Maybe they ran Adamant. We probably ran enough speed on Uxie to also outspeed Adamant. Or like plus attacking nature, or like not plus speed nature Mew outspeed the plus attack nature Hydreigon, or plus attack Urshifu. So So yeah, this does pretty decent damage. We go for the Psychic on the Rhyperior, and it's not special defensive. It's also really, I don't think it's even HP investment. It's probably a lot of attack and a lot of speed, but not enough speed to outspeed the Uxie. Goes for Stone Edge. Obviously, it's got a Breaker Sub. No way it doesn't. Might be some offensive set or something. Could also be like Salig Berry, potentially. Could be Cupstat Berry. So probably not a great play right here just to go for the substitute. We probably should have gone for the Psychic and just killed this Rhyperior, because if it was a Cupstat Berry set and went for a Stone Edge and like crit our UC because we wouldn't have a substitute, then that'd be pretty unfortunate. I mean, I'm definitely the runner who runs a lot of Cupstat Berry. I don't think a ton of people run Cupstat Berry normally. So I would have doubted that this was going to be Cupstat Berry, but we probably live a Stone Edge comfortably anyway. If they got a crit, then we probably go down really low, but I think we would probably live the hit. But yeah, we just go for the Psychic here and kill. No reason to like risk trying to get misses with the Stone Edge. And we would get down super low. And based on like Repair coming out to be like UC switching, it seems like we're in pretty decent position to win this game. I'm sure the Vaporeon's not going to have much to touch us. The Mew is going to be it's special defensive with Toxic, Recovery, Ice Beam, and something. And yeah, the fact that Vaporeon came out is definitely not the greatest position for them. So we can go for subs and Calm Minds pretty freely. They would have gone into the Vaporeon earlier if they had Roar. Sure, not too worried about that. Probably like Wish, Protect, Scald, and Flip Turn, I'm assuming is what their set is. The Scald is not going to be breaking our set. I think with our special defense investment, we lived 4 special attack Vaporeon Scald at no special attack boost behind a sub, let alone us being at +1. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We're going to go for Calm Mind, go for a couple more Calm Mind. We could see how low we're getting and see the Scalds that they're doing. We're like at like 40-ish% HP or so. So yeah, we're still going for Calm Minds. They don't know what our last move is yet. But I think we probably go for Draining Kiss here. So yeah, I guess we go for Draining Kiss here just to make sure, like, if there's subs or there's crits or such, we want to make sure that we're not in a really terrible position. So we go for the Draining Kiss, recover a decent amount of HP, and yeah, you could just see it right there, the excitement that we had in this game. We're pretty confident that Yuki's going to win this game. Of course, there's nothing that could backfire and get us a crit or whatever. So the Vaporeon eventually goes down. The Mew comes out. If the Mew is not faster. They're very special defensive. We could just continuously sub and probably win the game here. We go for Draining just to recover as much HP. I think it does slightly. What's it going to be doing? Psychic does... I think Psychic probably does a little bit more damage than Draining Kiss, even if it's a resist a hit because of stab. But yeah, this Mew can't touch us. Try not to prolong this game any longer. And Uxie is going to get us a sweep. Yeah, Rhyperior comes out and that's going to die. So Uxie wins us the game. Yeah, I'm guessing that Kelly didn't expect this Uxie set to do too much work. I know I was definitely iffy on Uxie pick in like the draft analysis, but I definitely like understood it and definitely appreciated it. I don't know if I said that in the draft analysis, probably not. I was just crapping on Leo because I could. But Uxie did decent work week 1, and it obviously swept week 2. So yeah. 2-0 right now. Definitely pretty excited about this. Again, sorry that Leo wasn't able to join this side, but definitely go check out his side for week 3, and then see the team builder on my channel. But yeah, thanks for supporting both our channels and supporting this TBL season. Make sure you go check out Kelly. I don't know if Monotooi is going to be uploading or not. Probably just Kelly. But make sure you check out their content and all the other coaches in the league. But yeah, until next time, later guys.